Right, the next job I'm going to tackle is this right here, and that is the underside of the companionway hatch. And we've gone to all that trouble to do the garage roof, as it were, and try to make everything else look good. That to not tackle this would be, well, it just wouldn't be cricket. So this lock isn't exactly Fort Knox level deterrent to stop people getting in the boat. So I think we're going to have to rethink this lock. There's all sorts of colouring mismatches where there's been damage over the years, old and tired. And then the teak fascia, you can see here again, split, the ends are snapped off, it's a big chunk missing. So with all that said, let's get cracking. Alright, first things first, let's get these bungs out and unscrew that fascia. Alright, I'm gonna see what wood we've got in the wood store. I'm sure the guys will have a piece, and I might just get them to cut it out for me. Make life just a little bit easier whilst I focus on tackling this. I did try originally to gingerly take this off, but I think it's had its day. So I think we're going to replace this, and then, let's say, give all of this a sand, a paint, repair any little chips and dents that are in it. There's not too many. This is okay actually. But then again, I suppose it spends a lot of its time protected and hidden away. But we'll get that blitz, get a new piece mounted on the front, a little bit of headliner, and then bish bash bosh, Bob's your father's brother. Job done. The next leg of Operation Seal Cadoa back up, we're back to the hatches, and the hatch is now looking all super shiny. And this is the old faceplate. Now I could have at one point in time probably reused this, but we've got this huge split down here, which has kind of written this one off for me, and lots of holes where a previous not so great lock used to sit. So that one's out with the old, and then we're going to be in with the new. And so we've got a new piece of teak here, and it's roughly shaped, needs a little bit more sanding, tiny bit more shaping, and then that'll be good to go. A few coats of varnish, and then hopefully this will look the business. First things first, I want to get this all sanded. I'm going to go 180, then maybe 240, 260, what number is that? 240. Get a nice smooth finish, and then we're going to dry fit it, and then as long as I'm happy with that, we'll then put a little bit of sealant on the back, put that on properly, plug the front, and then it's time for a bit of varnish, and maybe that'll be job done. We've also got some plugs here as well. which will finish that off when we're done. It's not a professional level finish, I grant you, but I am very happy with this. It looks a lot better than it did. Right, now everything's been dry fitted, I've offered it all up, it's looking good, it's time to put it on and put it on for good. So I am going to be I'm using this actually because of the colours that we've got here. I've gone for like a kind of wood coloured, it's not a Sika, Sabotac 750X. I've never used this before, but I'm told it will do the job. Worst of it all. Annoying. It's a tiny little bit of spirits just to get the worst of it off, and then I think a touch of sandpaper will get us all the way there. There is a very real part of my brain saying you could have totally edited that out. But you know, this is Cadoa boat restoration also. Right, it is the next day. The sealant is looking like it's set. Next thing, we're going to screw these screws all the way in, and then once they're nice and tight we can put the bungs in and then get ready for the varnish. I am mixing up just a little tiny bit of epoxy with a little bit of filler, silica filler, and I'm going to put these bungs in. I want to make sure I get the grain on the bungs travelling in the same direction as the grain in the wood, otherwise they look a bit weird. Just the grain left to right. We wait.
Well, I can only see your hand.
Perfect. I think I'm actually going to use a little bit of 2-pack varnish and I'm going to roll it on. Give that a whirl. Nice and simple. The camera has finally decided to give up the ghost. The focus isn't holding and then it keeps cutting out. To be fair, we've had her a long time. She's had an incredibly hard life aboard Cadoa, up mountains, on hikes, in the rain, in the snow, in the heat, the sand. So yeah, she's done all right. I'm not gonna complain. So I'm gonna use my trusty phone now to capture the rest of this. So this is all looking beautiful, and now we need to refit the mechanisms, which are now allow the hatch to open and close. So originally the underside of this companionway hatch had a roof lining on it, and that was all becoming saggy, it was torn, it was stained, it was just a bit of a mess. So what I've actually done is given it several coats of just white bilge paint, and then I've cleaned up the mechanisms, as I say, that were in place previously. And all we're going to do is refit these. Hopefully we'll get them all back in the right place, and then we'll have what's called a naked display, and I think that's going to look all right, you know. too bad. Not too bad. Right, now to fit it. And Humpty Dumpty is back together again. That is looking 1,000 times better. Dare I say, almost as good as new. Anyway, that's another job tackled. We've got a whole bunch of other things going on, and be sure to join us in the next video because we have a pretty big announcement to make. One you're not going to want to miss. Right, thanks for hanging out with us another week. See you next time.